Hello, everyone. Hello. This looks a bit weird. I'm on the left until Dom joins with his video.
Ah, ha, ha, ha.
But look, it is central now. Look.
Oh my goodness. Tom, we've come a long way. Been a couple of weeks, but we've got there. So, welcome to Dom and Tom Sit Talk and Hobby, episode 86.
It is 86, isn't it?
So yeah, we've done quite a few, but we've missed out a few.
We
So
have missed out a few,
Hold
to be
our
fair.
hands up to that.
Yeah.
We've not been as good as we should to you guys. So
No.
apologies in advance. The reason I'm not showing my camera is in a moment we'll have a little look at the studio and what I've been doing. It's going to be a little glimpse. There's going to be a bit of video coming up. Obviously, you can't see everything via a webcam. I'll pop that up in a second. Yeah. So tonight we're going to do some hobby. So Tom, what hobby are you doing tonight, if any?
I'm doing studio-related stuff. I am working on my. I'm trying to do some graphics and stuff for the for my new overlay for my streaming stuff.
Okay, cool beans.
So I am doing stuff. If it doesn't look like I'm doing it, it's just 'cause that I'm in that kind of as Dom's probably aware right now. I'm kind of in that headspace at the moment, getting that right. Obviously, I posted up some testy video over the weekend, which some of you may or may not have seen. Please go have a look at it and make any comments about it, because that's part of my setup, which I'm not going to go into too much detail now because it's not quite finished. But yeah, that's what I'm working on. How about yourself?
Well, actually, for the first time in several weeks, I'm actually doing hobby. I'm working on the Titan.
How dare you?
So yeah. Okay, so I am going to turn my camera on because it'll be
I'm
good.
looking forward
What's
to
everyone else working on tonight, by the way? Morat, please don't put any spoilers in the chat, because I really want to listen to that, because it's got two of my favourite armies. All right. Anyway, let's put on a camera.
Well, it works at least. Hey, look, it's pretty.
Hey! So it's changed somewhat from its previous reincarnations. So yes. Oh my goodness.
It looks
Taken
beautiful.
a long time. But yeah, I'm pretty much there at the moment, which is good. And yes, I am working on a Titan. It has been a while. Morat, yes. Yeah, I will be. Either way, Morat, I'm looking forward to it. Yes, so anyway, very quick thing. Table is up. For those who've been watching the stream or have been in the studio before, you know I've been taunting myself over it, and eventually I had to unleash my carpentry skills, and it's still standing. So that's
Oh, it's a bit wobbly.
yeah, no, need some more stuff on it.
But it's very good that you built it yourself, Dom. It's cool.
Yeah, 100%. That's all my work on there. I need to get a bit of filler, and I'm probably going to paint it as well. But for now, it's all good, which I'm quite happy with. Yeah, and obviously display cabinets in the back. Hang on, see if I can kind of spin this
You
around.
should be able to pick it up. Should be all right.
There
you go, look at that.
There we go.
I want one.
It's very cool.
I know.
And yeah, I've got no cabinets either side now, so the cabinets have all gone.
Oh, it's much more area.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So yeah, I'm very happy how it's all turning out, to be honest. A couple more lights have been put in. Oh, and yeah, that big light up there. I'm not going to turn that on at the moment because I'm in my chill out mode.
Where's your mood lighting?
That lights the battlefield perfectly.
Very nice.
All good times. All good times. Where are you going to put all your goblin stickers? Well, that is it. I haven't finished Velpire. There are still things to do. For instance, this picture that lovely Lee Hunt has done for me will be moving to this wall here, and it will be replaced by the artwork that Tom and Vicky got me. I'm just waiting for the frame to turn up, which should have been today. So I was really hoping it would be today, and then it could be up there. But unfortunately, it should hopefully be here by the end of the week, which is...
Well, looking forward to seeing that. That was quite a nice bit of Lorgar.
Yeah, so it's quite cool. And like you see, I've raised the board up, so it's kind of in the same height. Maybe there's a centimetre or two difference. I don't think there is.
I think both you and me did that, didn't we? Because it was just it was back-breaking work.
Getting old, Tom.
I know, it's really
Getting
bad.
old. We can't keep bending over these things. So yeah, I've removed the cupboards. Storage has increased actually after removing those cupboards and all the other bits like this bit, and I've got storage
Some underneath.
facilities down here.
That's cool.
So,
Did you go full length shelves underneath, or did you just leave a gap in the middle?
Actually, I don't know if hang on. I'm going to move, and you guys.
I think if you,
see.
that'll do it.
There we go.
Yeah, cool. You went with that idea. Nice.
So underneath, now I've got the studio armies. Got a bit of space at the end for future builds, and then hang on, let me spin it around a bit more. Boop, boop, boop. And then you've got these shelves down here as well. So
like the carpet as well, much nicer.
Lighting and balance and carpet. It makes such a massive difference. It makes difference on the heating in here as well. The acoustics, I think, are actually a little bit better as well. So
you'll lose some of that echo.
Yeah, it's a lot more homely. And Tom, when you come round, or when anyone comes around for a battle report, like, you get tired after a while, and I was like, oh, what do you do? So, in the corner, a little seating area over in the corner over there. So
very nice.
It's all good.
That'll be good.
Yeah. So happy days. Yeah.
I'm very jealous still, by the way.
There's a lot of hard work when it.
I know, mate.
As you guys probably know, I've kind of, and especially Dave Holland. Thank you for putting up for a lot of my talking about this at work, because I would imagine after a while, probably got a bit bored of it. So it's going to do it that way.
I'll be very interested to have a look at it. So I'm looking forward to come around at some point, mate.
Honestly, no, I'm gonna start arranging my games again, getting stuff in, because it's mentally cleared it a lot, because a bit like yourself, once you've got that hobby space and you kind of, it's not how you want it. It just plays on your mind. However, now I'm very comfortable in this space, and hopefully people will be when they come in as well. I mean,
it looks inviting. It looks inviting, man.
Yeah. I still
don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. It looks good.
No, I've still got things to do.
I know you have,
kind
but
of an ongoing project.
It looks good.
So at one point there'll be lighting in all those cabinets.
Is that built actually from the place you bought that from, or are you getting some custom?
I'm getting. So I'm thinking there's some lighting on Amazon, which I've seen in these cabinets before.
They do some very nice stick-on-y strippy things, which are quite cool.
Yeah, So I had that on the cupboard underneath.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking at the moment I've got another lamp, so I've got a couple more LED lamps which you can kind of see.
Get it in red.
Burning.
Get it in red.
Burning in the background. Yeah. Red ones for the chaos, and greeny blue ones for the guard and the sisters. And then I went. There's still things to do. Like I said, I'm going to paint this.
But we'll be happy with what you've done.
Really happy.
You'll be happy with what you've done, because it does look fantastic. Man. I know you've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that, because I haven't seen hide nor hair of you for about a month probably.
Yeah. So those who don't know, I've been banning people from this room. No one's seen anything. In fact, I even had my daughter with like a couple of hours ago just helping me put a couple of bits on the table. I was like, hold this, and I look over and it's just a stuffed toy just standing on it, and I was like, you are no help whatsoever.
And then obviously, as you've been doing that, I can't quite make the renovational changes that Dom has done, sadly. So I've been working from a more technical standpoint, which I'm not going to go into too much detail, because anyone who is in our Discord, and I encourage you, please go to the general chat and have a look at the video I posted up last weekend. Have a look at what I did. See what you like about it. Make some suggestions. I know Captain Jack made a few very helpful suggestions, but if you haven't watched it, have a quick watch, because it's actually something we were talking about, wasn't it, about styles of recording. So we think we're both going to adopt maybe a slightly different S style when we're filming in our own environments, so to speak. And hopefully a couple of live stream games as well. But that's basically what I've been working on, is a kind of, because I can't strip apart my wallpaper, and I can't take the horrible stuff off the walls. I can cover it up, but that's about it. So you can see there's a couple of things behind me, but again, like I said, this is Dom's got he's having the limelight tonight, so because I know he's working really hard. So
thank you. So I will be putting a video up, because I wanted to kind of record this as a journey. So I've recorded some before videos, and I'll be recording some as well. because I was watching through the before videos. I was like, geez,
Mhm.
like a bit of a work site, and now I'm like, it's cool. I'm quite happy with this. It's good. And I think it's what we all kind of. And this is what I've got for my space. Like when I
Yeah.
was doing the research in developing like wargaming rooms and like, oh my goodness, some are spectacular. So yeah, there's so much stuff, good stuff out there. But I will be doing a video. Half of it's recorded. I'll record the other half, edit it together, chuck it up. And like I said, there's still stuff to do, but this is what I'm happy with now. Big improvement.
So actually, in that vein, I mean, obviously, what do you guys regard as having like key points to a good hobby space? I think that's quite a good question actually, because we all go on about the hobby itself, but the environment you actually hobby in, I think is just as important sometimes. Because oh, are they?
Plants as well.
Ah, you got some because the thing I noticed actually was I tend to become much more erratic and stressed as the messier my workspace gets in my sitting location, and I have a thing called well, I suppose it's a breaking point when you have to go. Nope, it's time to tidy. And it's time to make this look better. Because and that's just my desk space. You know, I have a limited space where this wall I'm facing right now. It's a desk with some stuff on the side here, which I'd love to get out of here, but I have nowhere to put it. I have all of the I've got about 50% of the black clay terrain sitting to my left hand side.
High up high.
But it's because as Dom knows, we neither of us have a huge amount of overflow space for lots of stuff. But getting a storage unit is quite an expensive thing to do, and it's one of these things that we collected it for events, which we're hopefully going to get back to doing at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah,
absolutely.
So you guys that are watching, what's your kind of hobby space? Big yeses and big no nos. Even some of the bad stuff. It's I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you would do if you had a spare room with a little bit of capital, because it's not cheap to do. From both points of it as well. This is the crazy thing, So because I know that what you done has probably been equally as expensive to what I've bloody well done, and I'm not even going to go into it.
I think like the thing is, I think we can frown on the hobby and we can be critical of the hobby, and the hobby's got great bits and bad bits. And majority of this room is for 40k and for Games Workshop games. But it's not all about the room. The room it's more of a relaxing area and a bit of escapism. And so it's like a comfortable. I want to make it a comfortable space, not just for me, but like for instance, if my kids come up, they've got a little area over there. I put their artwork up on the wall over there. Like if you come round, or if we get a couple of people around, because I think generally I've actually created more room in here.
You have, I can tell.
I think I could, you could easily have a doubles game in here now. And it would be might be a bit small because there's 4 of you in there, but it's definitely doable, and not feeling like claustrophobic. And it's kind of having that area where you can just breathe, escape, calm. There's nothing worse, like having clutter everywhere, feeling stressed, having issues going on that then pile onto your normal day-to-day life. So it's just like it's a nice, safe area.
Yeah, because one of the things I had was obviously Sam or Felpire in chat. He was round last weekend for a game, which my intention was to film a battle report and put it up in the new setup I had. It didn't quite pan out because I had a few technical issues with sound, mainly me. I mean, actually, do you know what? That's not true. I'm going to tell the truth. What really happened was I left the receiver on overnight behind my computer, and it ran out of battery. That's what really happened. It wasn't really a technical issue. I was just I was unfamiliar with what I was doing, and I left it on, and I completely forgot about it. So unfortunately, what happened was on turn 4, we ended up having half the turn without any audio. Which obviously, and then I remember Felpar said, "Oh, we can go back and re-record." I said, "How? We're going to have to backtrack all the moves, and we'll do a voiceover." And I thought, what? It's not worth it. I'm just going to accept this is a loss, and come back at it once I know what it's capable of doing. That's one of the things that I noticed the most when you're trying to do these things, and the space that you're working in. That was the nice thing about it, was I'd cleaned everything up, and it was actually quite a nice space at that time. And now I've re-messed it up by trying to do lots of other things to fix all the problems. So I've now got to sort all that out. I mean, just an example down here. it's just like lots of packaging, and then it's just like that's just sort of the room. So it's getting all that sorted out again when I actually had it to the point where I was like, oh, I quite like it in here. It's kind of peaceful.
Yeah.
And my desk is a mess down here. I mean, I've got my that I've now keep all of my paint stuff on a tray because I like the fact I can now pick that up, move it away if I need to. Because before I was just having stuff sitting on my desk on the left hand side, which is not brilliant when you're trying to keep it a tidy space because you've got your paint pots everywhere, you knock them over, all that kind of stuff. So yeah,
definitely. I try and keep my I try and keep my area relatively clear.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, after you leave it for a little bit and it gets neglected and it piles up a little bit.
It does.
So in the chat here we got can you help me when I build my man cave? Yes, Gavin, of course I will. I'll be straight over, mate. Honestly, you help me with my garden. I'm gonna help you.
Oh God, yeah,
in your man
that was when we
cave.
did the. That was a while,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
With the
I
old
remember
rocks.
laying that topsoil, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or removing it. I can't remember what we were doing. Were we removing it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We were doing different things.
We were digging
That's
stuff.
why it takes so long, Tom. So I was piling it back in. Doesn't really. Thank you, Jack.
Vanguard Wargaming. Hi there, mate.
Hey, Vanguard. Does look more open now. It does. It feels a lot more open, to be honest. Gavin, really sort of Discord.
To be fair, there was no need for drunken commentary for most of it.
Oh dear.
We may have had a few beverages.
Oh, who won? Who won?
Oh, actually, it was a draw, a dead draw. I'm not joking. It was 55-55.
Orcs and Necrons.
Orcs and Necrons. We had it. It was actually a really, really good. I do have all the clips. So if you do want to see any of the end parts, I can put that up. But because basically, what happened was when we were filming on the day. Obviously, Sam came down for my birthday on the last Friday, and we started a game. He came a bit later than he should have done. 11 o'clock. Unbelievable. So we ran out of time in the afternoon to finish it fully. So we stopped and said we'll pick it up in the morning. And that's when the charging issue happened. Annoyingly, I noticed it. I managed to record the last 2 turns fully fine after that because we just charged it for 20 minutes and it was fine. But it was just, as Sam said, we actually thought the Necrons had won it. And then you can see the benefit of having all the cameras on. You see me look down at the table and see a little objective marker that I'd burnt and raised in the game and put to the side. And I went, I haven't had that on. That's 5 points. And then I was like, it's actually 55-55.
Narrow.
So it was
a good game though.
It was we had an absolute blast playing it, to be honest. It was really nice, and like I said, with the way I set the filming up as well, it's one of those scenes because obviously when we're filming in certain ways, especially when you're doing the start-stop stuff, you kind of get a little bit drawn out of the game sometimes when you're trying to play it, because you're trying to do trying to film a set of between each turn and whatnot. Whereas in this one, it was much more like I felt more. I was able to play the majority of it. However, as I said, it was a really good game, but filming footage-wise, it was really long. It was 4.5 hours of footage I had.
Got to be committed. You got to watch all of it.
Well, that's the thing, and the problem is I suppose that's the other downside of the way filming the other way I was doing is that it had it was big. What I ended up doing in the end was doing one straight shot for the entire turn. Not the battle round, just each person's turn. That worked out really well, actually. After I figured it out halfway through that this was a better idea of doing it, and then that way you were able to edit it a bit better in the post stuff. Yeah, we did see Sam cry. There's a few, there's a few things. The Nightbringer had a bad day and a good day. He bought
Sam,
one.
Why are you bringing a Nightbringer? He's not going to have a good time, is he? Try and optimize my within easy reach, easy. It's all a mantra. I get stressed out. If it gets untidy.
Yeah.
Talking of which, how is your bird's nest, Captain Jack, in your hobby space?
Oh God, I forgot. Yeah.
Have you got a little baby hatchlings yet? Little.
I was going to say like 5 of them.
Yeah.
I've now got a family living in there.
But anyway, going back to this a little bit. Now this is done, I am filling up the calendar of doing things. Play Daryl hopefully this weekend.
Nice.
We're having a grudge match, Necrons versus Elder. So that should be quite a fun game, I
Cool.
think. And then I've got to start messaging you.
Yeah.
By the way, that's Tom, not just you.
That'd be
watching.
nice, just have a game with me,
You. And yeah, just getting some games in really.
Actually, fair, that was
all
unfair.
my codexes are coming out.
Yeah, that was unfair. We did have a game the other week, but we didn't record it because I think
we were testing out your cameras.
We were testing out the game, and also I think we just wanted to play a game. Quite frankly,
yeah.
I think it's sometimes it hits you like that, and that's just the way it rolls. So.
Yeah, it's all good. My guard playing your orcs.
That was it. Yeah, that was good.
Frankly, my guard did very well.
They did actually. Although
I tell you what, those 6s are brutal.
Although I must admit, having played Necrons with my orcs now, I think I've got them down a bit better in a slightly better composition. Because obviously, as you know, that was the first time I played played my orcs against you, and probably.
It's been a little while.
It's been a long time. I played a game with Vicky as well, and I've played them against Necrons, and I felt like I had those 3 games have now given me a good. I think it's getting an understanding of all the basics of the army.
Yeah.
Stratagem-wise, there isn't a huge amount for the orcs, to be honest. It's fairly depending on what. It's very the stratagems tend to be focused on very individual units, from what I've read through.
A lot of these codexes are now, aren't they? I think, for instance, Necrons, you might 6 stratagems maybe in the codex you might use 6 at a push, 6 stratagems, and you think how many pages you've got because they're all, like you said, specific to a dynasty.
That's it,
or a unit type or a particular data sheet, and you're like, okay, well, I think
you take 50% off.
More than 50%.
Well, it is because I looked at the orc one's quite a good example because a lot of it's like the beast snaggers or focused around the like a particular unit itself rather than that. And obviously they separated the culture stuff out as a kind of codex thing where you got one core stratagem with it, a thingy, and obviously your army abilities. And actually, I found that majority of the time I ended up playing more to that stratagem for the Goths, which was basically getting extra exploding hits on 5s rather than 6s, and their core built-in Codex rule, which was 6s generate another hit. And to be honest, it was good. And the war's kind of a built-in stage 1, stage 2 thing now. You don't really have to have. It's just 2 turns. You get your extra attacks basically, and advance and charge on one of them. So.
Are you enjoying playing orcs?
I am actually.
You're kind of on the fence a little bit, but you've played 3 games recently.
3 games. I thoroughly enjoyed playing them all. And what I like about them is the units are just. I suppose kind of a bit more interesting than what I've been playing through other armies. It's just got some interesting stuff you can do with it. And Vicky bought me a Morkanaut, a Gorkanaut. I'm going to make it for my birthday as well, which was quite nice. So I've got that up on the shelf ready to make for them, which I then realised quite happily that I have a Morkanaut, a Gorkanaut, and a Stomper, which makes a super heavy detachment.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I was tempted when we played so actually go through our game very briefly. What can I remember of it? So I took my guard, and I took 4 squads of infantry.
Yeah.
Because now they get the free upgrades as well. So I gave them missile launchers and plasma guns. A couple of junior officers, 2 squads of veterans with flamers and melters in chimeras, 5 or 7 Russes. I can't remember.
I'm trying to. You had the 3 in the middle. You had 2 down the bottom, and I think you had 1 up the top. So
yeah, so
7?
a few Russes maybe. Yeah. And we went with our custom regiment, the Kitrin 83rd, which is jury rigged. So hull points get put back on, or wounds. Hull points. What edition was that? And re-rolling a dice when determining shots for your big guns. And they were the my regiment tactics, my army. And like I said, using the first time now with 6s automatically wound. When you pick all orders on the guard squads, they were brutal.
They were horrible. I didn't really have. Well, you were taking out death dreads with las guns.
Yeah. I think I took out 3 death traps.
Yeah.
In the end, wasn't it? Just like,
and admittedly they needed it, but I think it's one of those kind of blunt hammer fixes. I think it skews it against certain armies quite badly. But ultimately, they did need a bit of an uplift because they were in a very bad place. In fact, they still are really, because now they've just become this kind of, let's just shoot as many shots as I can kind of army without much kind of after, I suppose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
poor old God. I mean, they needed it to get themselves in any sort of like play really, because beforehand I hadn't bothered with Guard,
Nope.
because they're just hard work to use, because you kind of the Codex. Like we'll talk about the Chaos Codex in a bit, but the Guard Codex is just all over the place. It's just terrible to use.
I actually hate reading it.
Yeah, it's just a pain. So they needed something to get them back on the battlefield. And now I'm looking at my Renegades and Heretics, because after that I was like, oh my gosh, all those shots I had, and I'm like, oh, my Renegades, I have got 2 Punishers with heavy bolter sponsons, and I've got a Minotaur and a couple of Basilisks and a Wyvern. It's going to be quite fun. Even with Armor of Contempt, I'm interested to see what a kind of difference it will make with against Marine-based armies, because like the 6s were just going through. I don't think it really mattered too much.
Well, there's no AP. It doesn't matter. It's only the AP that affects armor contempt.
Yeah, so it's a volume of fire rather than any extra damage.
I mean, obviously the slight difference is that orcs only have 1 wound, whereas marines would have 2 to chew through for each one. So
yeah, it's true.
So you'd have a slight, and also if they had any AP weapons, they would typically get a save. Even a -4 would get a save, because you're getting that
armor of contempt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Daryl says hello. Sorry, I'm a bit late. Any comments on your setup? And then Vanguard Wargaming, at this rate, we'll get the Leagues of Votan before we get a... I'm wondering if we'll get Leagues of Votan and Guard at the same time.
I don't know. I was talking to someone about this the other day, and I hope Games Workshop don't do it, and they just wait. They're going to do like the Sisters of Battle thing, where they're going to go, this is what we're developing in the background. Oh, they're going to be awesome. But I got a really bad feeling. Like, part of me is like expecting them to go, hey, Guard players, Demon players, hey, look what we've got for you. Squats!
We're getting rid of both these armies.
Yeah. What happens
and
when Guard meet Demons? Squats!
But obviously we're forgetting, we've still got the Demons to come out, and we've still got Guard. But it's interesting because obviously we may as well go on to the Chaos Codex. Obviously you're probably vaguely excited about this. I'm fairly excited about it. I'm really interested to see what happens with it. But obviously it's one of your core armies, so it's just like I had the feeling with the Black Templars. I know you're probably up there with, please be good. Please be good.
I'm really looking forward to it. Just like a little giddy schoolgirl.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of also concerned because I know that like the rumours have been that there are going to be some dramatic changes, not to how the army works, but data sheet changes as in things are gone. And part of me like, oh, please don't be gone. But I'm prepared for things to be gone.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I heard the rumours that Jump Pack Lords are gone. If that's the case, the Vulture needs to get himself some new loadout. Because at this point...
he can always drill holes through his wings. He had an accident.
Maybe there's a possessed thing going on.
He shoots himself with his plasma pistol enough, so...
Yeah, it's like rocket jumping. just disappears to dust.
Oh, it's gone. I'm Scarbrand's son now.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously...
Oh, Mr. Stark!
I overcharged it too high!
Yeah, and also we've got the new Demon Prince model coming out.
Yeah, I don't know.
What are you thinking of that?
That is technically the AOS version, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm wondering... Well, I don't know. When I looked at it, I'm wondering if they're going to do 2 separate models now. Because the style is very AOS-y. It didn't really look like a 40k model. Because, I mean, the current Demon Prince, you could definitely see in both.
Well, you can. You can make it to both.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not letting that one through, Peter. I'm sorry, the censor's saying no on that one.
I didn't even see what it was, so that's fine. Oh, it must be on my other chat.
A rude comment about the Vulture. Well, with the current Demon Prince kit, you can make it AOS or 40k because you just give it armor plates or no armor plates, and that's essentially how you change it up. And I think the backpack as well. I mean, you very rarely see one without wings, so I can't really.
Yeah, well, it's I mean, I've got
Demon Prince
obviously
with a
I've got
wing!
my Nurgle one, but that was a
Yeah.
specific build for 40k Nurgle. But you look at that one, it's got some pretty hefty armor on it.
Yeah. I think someone just said in the chat, Vanguard, Demon Prince face is super ugly. Yes, it is super ugly, and I completely agree with you. I'm a bit confused. I think it's one of those mods you actually have to see.
Yeah.
Like, there's some things like the wings look cool, some of the armor plates look cool, the face looks like he's been.
I didn't really like the body, to be honest. I didn't like the body. No, it looks
I think
looks kind of gangly, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think maybe we need to see it in person.
That's what I'm normally reserved judgment on these things because, as you and me know, occasionally you see something, you go, "Oh, it's horrible." Then you actually look at it, and you're like, "Oh, okay, it wasn't too bad." Unless it's the ATV, then it doesn't matter where you look at it from, whether it's on the screen, up close, in your hands,
throwing it out the window,
as you kind of go, "Why'd you buy me this?"
Making car noises. Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with him. I think he just replaced the head, to be honest, if you really want to, if you're that concerned. A bit like the new Chaos Knights coming out, the little War Dog ones. I like them. I'm not keen on the head, so I'm probably going to replace the heads if I got some. Because the Chaos Knight Codex looks really cool. I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be quite a fun thing to play.
Yeah. Dom, sorry, I've just got a message from work. Can you give me 1 second?
No, that's okay. I'll read through the comments. So Captain
Mic feedback on.
Plague.
Mic feedback
Codex.
off.
One of the rumors.
Mic off.
Well, I heard, Captain Jack, that the Hulk troops, so Plague Marines, Zerkers, Rubrics, and Noise Marines, if they are in the Codex, they won't benefit from the Legion specific traits, which I think is a good compromise. I've got a heavy amount of Plague Marines. I've got a squad of Rubrics and a couple of Sorcerers. I'd like to think they'd still be included, just not benefit from them. Otherwise it's a bit sucky, to be honest, but we'll see. Peter, my Dark Apostle could sort it down and smack him about. I hope you're not talking about the Vulture, because the Vulture will take any Dark Apostle on. He's actually part of the Dark Council. He doesn't like to go on about it, but the Vulture is quite a key figure in the Legion. Just keep that in mind, Peter. Jack, I'm thinking
Mic on.
specific Demon Prince 2. Yeah, that would be cool.
Okay,
I'm not against that. Very nice if you get that. Welcome back.
Apologies.
Multi-one. So we'll see. I think it will be a multi-one, but it'd be cool nonetheless. Either way it goes. Ceres, are you going to pick up the Chaos Knight?
I'm going to.
You're going to. You did Chaos Knights as well.
I've already got one. I may as well.
Oh,
No.
they do.
No, if I'm saying I'm not. I'm sticking with my Imperial Knights. I'm joking. I'm going to pick up. I might pick up the new Imperial Knight box to get the big Stompy boy.
Yeah.
Because that's the one I need for my collection.
Ceres, I don't know. It'd be nice to get the Codex a bit earlier. I don't need the models. I think the only ones I'd be tempted to get are some of the smaller ones again, because I've already got 4 big boys there, and another one. Oh, I don't even know where the other one is. Apparently it's somewhere in one of these boxes.
What's that pile of plastic in the
moment.
corner that fell down a minute ago? No.
I don't. I like the new one, the psychic one coming out with the. I'm not a massive fan of the look to that, to be honest.
Is that the snaky tendril one?
Yeah, I like the little ones. I think the little ones look cool. That's my personal opinion. I'm sure the big one looks cool. Bit like we're saying about Demon Prince, you might have to see it in person.
I can get it though, because it is quite a big jump from the style that they were in to kind of where they're going. You know, it's I get it.
Yeah, I think like for my ones, for instance, it's like you've got like your little dial here. You've got 1 being Imperial and 11 being Chaos. And I like to think my ones are probably about maybe a 7 or 8, like distinctively Chaos. No mutations yet. We're okay.
Yeah,
maybe at distance we can pass for Imperial till they get close. And I think this one's just got up to 11. He's just like, I've got a tail, I've got tusks, I've got a big blah, 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 and I'm psychic. And that's cool. That's a really cool thing to go for, but it's not maybe not.
I think they're trying to push that big chaos vibe. I think that's kind of what it's about. When because especially when you look at I suppose the latest Horus Heresy ones that came out with the big chaosy titans, they're trying to push that.
Yeah.
Much more
Yeah,
corruption vibe, vibe on it. But I think, as you said, there's ways to do corruption without being over the top as well. And I'm sure there are within the 40k universe. There are legions that are fairly close to what they were, but with chaos vibes, so to speak. That's
yeah. Doesn't have to be that obvious. No. But waiting for the new chaos stuff. Yes.
What do you reckon? July?
June. It's coming out in June.
Because we got.
So we can start.
Yeah. Well, we do need to. We need to get. Honestly, we let everyone down with that.
Yeah. Well, we let us.
I know.
Well, did we?
No,
I don't know.
Games Workshop let us down.
We were the victims of that.
I think we were. I remember that weekend came around. I think all of us got the event notification. We're like, I think you put up in the morning. We should have been playing 40k today.
Yeah. Bad times.
Well, don't worry. I'm still ready to do it in the front room. We're all good, so we can still do that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. Which, like we said, we can kind of September for the Chaos Codex, Gavin. Don't get me, Gavin. But Chaos Codex. Yeah. Let's talk about that. The preview, the big funky Codex cover art that came out, and now we know a little bit more about them.
And it sounds like we're getting some more tomorrow, so definitely keep an eye out.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be on the reveal tomorrow, I think. Now, like they've kind of gone. I think everything about Knights and Chaos Knights we know about. It's all coming out. Nothing hidden now. It's all done.
Let's get a picture up, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Bear with. You continue chit-chatting away about your favourite topic.
So chaos. What I like about the Codex art, so this is kind of all we know so far. It's like what the Codex art's got to be. Is you got a couple of big Chaos Marines, weapons all over the place, loaded up, and then you've got all these like little mortally mutants kind of crawling around on the Codex art, which I think is quite a nice sign that they are kind of expanding the range into the mortal element of that, not just Astartes and Possessed. That we're going to see some scum, essentially, and word bearers love scum. So we're going to have some good stuff coming out for them. I think maybe, the mortal range needed to be looked at. So it's going to be interesting. Are we going to see maybe Chaos Guard at some point? Or are we just going to see more cultist-related models and they're going to utilize it a bit more?
Sorry.
Oh, there we go.
It fits between us.
Hooray! Yeah, because this got kind of potato cameraed at the same time. The Demon Prince kind of got released, and I think for AOS we saw some Chaos Chosen as well. So it'd be interesting to see what it's looking like for them. Captain Jack, the Chaos Knights made more sense to me after listening to Mortis, although Mortis is so depressing. Mortis is depressing. Mortis is awesome. But they're pretty good stuff. Hope the rework Dark Apostle to be awesome. More options. Yes. Peter, I think the thing with Dark Apostle, which kind of gets me a little bit sad, is I love they've got the little Dark Disciples. I think they're brilliant. It's a great little choice to put in there. But there is only one Dark Apostle, which is really frustrating. You got the two models, but both of which are just in power armor. And you look at the Imperial counterpart where you've got one on a bike, a Primaris one on a bike.
You have less options.
Terminator armor. And yeah, it'd be just nice to have that extra option, like either in Terminator armor, just a Dark Apostle in Terminator armor, so you can have a Terminator force land, and you got a Dark Apostle.
And I think the sad thing about that is you can't even argue it being a kit date, because that's one of the newer Chaos kits.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm kind of hoping that they do get something just to break it up. Like maybe not a jump pack, because if jump pack lords have gone, makes no sense that a Dark Apostle would be able to jump pack and no one else can.
Well, you never know.
Maybe, but maybe a biker one, because the rumours are you got bikes coming out for Chaos again.
That'd be good because the bikes are so vanilla.
They're pretty, and it'd be quite cool to get a Dark Apostle on a bike, I think. Also, Terminator, like I said, be good, cool little Terminator force come down. Because, you need more Terminators, quite frankly. You've got Terminator Sorcerer, Terminator Lord, Terminator Dark Apostle would be even better. I was thinking about your Death Guard earlier, actually, Tom.
Oh yeah,
And I was like, your Death Guard must be pretty beefy at the moment.
they are.
Because they've now got Objective Secure.
Yeah, -1.
They got Armor of Contempt.
I must admit, I thought I should play them, but it's going to hurt. People are going to cry because of the way I've built my army.
Yeah, literally, Games Workshop must have gone, yeah, Tom will like this. Let's do it just for Tom. Let's kind of. We gave him a Black Templar Codex and he still moans about us. Now we've made.
I'm not moaning anymore. I'm not moaning anymore. I refuse to moan. I'm trying to be a good person.
He's never happy with us.
I hate everyone. But no, you are right. The way I've built that with so many of the the Terminator models in there, it would be quite interesting to see how they performed with all the new rule sets. I think they would be fairly powerful. I mean, the AP bit I think is the most powerful bit because they already have a 2-up save.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. Well, it's a bit like I was thinking also rubric Terminators.
True. Yeah.
Because obviously they got all this dust. They got a better invulnerable save anyway. Now they get Armor of Contempt, and the Cult of Time. I can't remember which one. Duplicity, where you can bring them back.
Yeah.
I was like,
Gavin might know.
Yeah, I think it's Duplicity. They can bring more back.
Interesting enough, the other thing I was actually thinking about is standard Space Marine Terminators. Because they, without Storm Shield and Thunderhammer, because they now have that extra buffer on their base save. So things that would be normally making it a 5-up invulnerable might just be a 4-up, which is just like having a Storm Shield.
Yeah.
Because obviously you don't get the benefit of that -1 if you have a Storm Shield.
Yeah, because normally when I've seen Terminators, generic Terminators, especially when you take them, you tend to take the Hammer Terminators.
Well, because
they're pretty hard hitting, and you've got a shield to protect them.
Exactly.
But now you've still got a Power Fist, but you can have a Storm Bolter.
Exactly.
So you might as well go with the standard ones.
Because honestly,
you get a bit more shooty.
Yeah, and as you got the +1 technically to your armor save, you're starting off at a -1 on AP weapons. So a 1 on AP weapons. So it's quite a nice little, and they're 3 wounds, so it makes sense to actually explore that as an option. But these are things. Obviously, you and me need to get together and have a big old Word Bearer Templar game as well. And we can try out all these wonderful little things, but we'll wait for you. I think next time we do that is when the book drops at least. Because I don't see the point. If I'm honest, I've played, I've tried to play my Night Lords multiple times in the last 2-3 months, and it's just been. If I'm honest, it was a waste of time. I had fun because of the people I'm playing with, but the game play for them is awful.
Yeah.
And I know I haven't got the most expansive force, but I didn't even feel like they had a remote chance. And even Vicky, she played obviously a game against Mr. Dave Holland in there, and they played a game where they gave the no extra point cost. They gave the berserkers, gave all the troops an extra wound, and played with the Heretic Astartes Armor Contempt rule, the thing, and she still lost handily.
Yeah. Why do you think that is though? Why do you think that is?
I suppose
Chaos currently not having that maybe.
The wound's a big thing still, regardless of whether that made that much of a difference. Obviously, we all know that. The other thing is that point adjustments. They're either going to go up or down in points. We don't know that. Berserkers, although being very cool, I suppose there's not a lot to synergize with them. They're very blunt hammer.
I think Berserkers are quite you didn't like Vicky's Berserkers, and what I've had in the past with my Berserkers is you don't want big squads of them because it almost seems a waste. Because you've got X amount of attacks, nothing can survive that many.
No.
But you do need to put some supporting other things in there.
You do, yeah.
So you need to put in your Dark Apostle,
Definitely.
or even your Exalted Champion. Exalted Champions are cheap. And they give you a form of reroll on there. Or a couple of cheeky little Chaos Lords. Lord Discordant might be a bit overkill. Gavin is saying it is the Cult of Time. has a bring back a model per turn psychic power. So yeah,
well, there we go. So is that the first bit of paint you put on that in a month or so, Dom?
Yes, it is indeed. It's actually quite nice to be painting a model again.
No, I will admit I am looking forward to getting back to doing some of mine. I have finished these Templar aggressors almost, but because I've been so focused on doing the changes in this room as you have, it's not been my top priority. And if I'm totally honest, when you do a whole load of pissing about in the room, I think sometimes the last thing we'll do is sit down and actually try and do more painting.
Well, I was hiding this in the case over there because I was kind of like, I was sanding, filler, painting. I was like, I'm just hiding models now. Everything has to hide. So yeah, it's just been sitting there looking kind of like forlorn, like, please paint me. Come on, just put some paint on me. That's how my Warhammer sounds.
I mean, if it sounds like that, I think it's got problems.
Yeah, well, you're going to find out in the Apocalypse game, mate. Whoa, yes, you are.
Oh, well.
Anyway, how's everyone's hobby going? Geez, sorry. How's the old hobby game people? What are we working on? Hear me and Tom rant away. And
we weren't ranting. We were having quite a jolly conversation, to be fair.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we were.
It's all right. I can go back to ranting if you want,
No, I don't think we've got any real reason to rant tonight. I think we're being very positive. For instance, Chaos Codex is coming out soon.
No, it's not.
Chaos
next
Knight
year.
Codex is coming out soon. God, I've got some good stuff.
They just confirmed it's next year online.
Oh, brilliant.
No, I'm joking.
And, yeah, back to the rant. And, the Heavy Destroyer. Nice. What weapon have you gone with, Felpire, for the Heavy Destroyer? Please say the 3d3 damage.
Yeah, I've brought him back to a bit more 40k having come down for a game now, so he could enjoy himself. So yeah, so speaking of future games, I think me and Daryl were talking about him possibly bringing down some Eldar for me as well, but we might try a little 5,000 point aside game for a bit of a laugh.
You say a little 5,000 points?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Cause it's not quite super duper apocalypse size, but it's a nice
up there.
It's a nice bit of fun. We might do that. We probably just play a game to start with, I think, though. And I want to get Mr. Holland down as well. And Gavin hasn't been down for a while either, actually.
Yeah, Gavin hasn't. No, he's been hiding. Vanguard, not bad. Finished some Hellblasters. Ooh, next up is some Necron Warriors. Very cool. Very nice. Yeah, that's what I like to hear, Felpire. Anti-tank all the way. Daryl Eldari. Yeah, Daryl, I always forget how big your Eldari army is. I think we had an Apocalypse game.
We put the pictures up, didn't we? In
yeah,
the last stream.
I think me and Daryl had one with Guard versus Eldari years ago before the studio, and it was a massive slugfest. It was really good fun. So yes, he's got a nice army.
But Gavin, you're bigger than her.
Captain Jack is adding washes. Yeah. Oh yeah, very nice. Guys, always put your pictures up on Discord.
Yeah, please
it's very
do.
nice to have a look through. Yeah, you've got your Cobra somewhere. That's quite cool. Oh my goodness, Gavin. Yeah, Daryl. Gavin, have a little 8-month-old baby. He's been holding me hostage. Really? And Daryl. We did indeed. Crandraz chomped through many tanks that day. Yes. That was back. I can't remember what edition it was where vehicles blew up. They stayed on the battlefield. Honestly, my side of the battlefield was just like a tank graveyard.
I kind of miss that,
Yeah, I do.
Sometimes. I remember we used to have all the smoke.
Yeah,
you
had smoke plumes coming out. Yeah, there was blown up Lehman Russes everywhere, and Crandraz were just like sitting upon a mountain of blown up Russes, and it was like, oh yeah, great. I can't get to him. There's so much wreckage. It just keeps jumping out, attacking me.
Maybe we should do a review on some of our first games we had, Dom.
Yes.
Like Attack on Hill, whatever it was we did.
88. Yeah. Yes. We need to redo that one. It's a standard scenario, Tom. We should be redoing these ones.
Oh yeah. Speaking of scenarios, actually, obviously we played. Me and Sam played Tempest of War at the weekend, actually. And I must admit, actually, I quite enjoy that card style game.
Yep.
Yeah, I know you and me had a try at it, but obviously second time through, actually, it was quite cool. It seems much more balanced from an objective point of view. It was quite refreshing.
Was enjoyable, Thomas. Was indeed. Yeah, I kind of just hope they continue this kind of like way of playing.
I think I'm leaning more towards the randomly kind of way. I think it's more fun than the very hardcore.
Generating your
rather than being a hardcore set, fair kind of style of one. I mean, I say fair. I mean, ultimately it does still lend itself to how you configure your army and what strengths you play towards. Then ECFL, I think it was a very good change. He thinks as well, and he hasn't really played many games, but at the same time, if he enjoyed himself in the first game back, it kind of says, yeah, that was a good choice of playthrough. I think the thing I liked about it is it changed our tactics almost every turn depending on what you drew. You had to sort of think slightly differently. So I think you have more of a chance to bring I think we spoke about this previously about bringing more of a well-rounded army.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rather than just going, I'm going to take all the fast attack and that's it, because I want to make sure I get all of the deploy, teleport, beat, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we've spoken about that a few times, haven't we? About how people make their army suitable for particular things, because it's almost like pre-planning it.
Yeah.
Like, oh well, the terrain's going to be this big, the battlefield's this big. They have to put their objective markers here, here, and here, as says the rule pack. So my movement is this.
Yeah.
I'll get onto that objective first turn, and you're like, wow, that's definitely fun. You work it out that way.
Well, I mean, I suppose that's the thing, isn't it? Because you look at what how it's suggested to play. They kind of give you the layout and what you should have here, here, and here. I suppose that takes away a certain element of even customizing the terrain to be something a little bit different. We played on the Orc terrain, which you can see behind me, which is a bit weird. It's not quite tournament worthy, really. I suppose it's quite nice, but because of the way it lays out, it's not quite like you've got to have one bit here, one bit here, one bit here, one bit here, one bit here. And I actually that's the bit I miss the most, is having the kind of customizable terrain. Although what I do enjoy, and I didn't think I'd ever say this, was the fact that I now cut my mat size down. I actually really like playing on the smaller mat.
It's a game changer, isn't it?
It is. You get all kind of protective over what you've bought, I suppose, back in when you first hear all this, and you kind of go, oh no, I'm never chopping my mats. And then you're like,
cut them all!
And I'm like, Dom, bring the guillotine round. Bring the guillotine, please, give the guillotine round. But then you realise it just gives you more play space. So also a great mat for Vicky's desk.
I've cut the borders to the right length of the mat, but I've kept the width 4 foot, because I just thought a bit of space here, we could put cards and dice.
I did the same as you suggested, and it was actually a good idea. Plus, what I'll tell you what else I did actually interestingly is I mean, you've got nice edges on yours, so you kind of got a bit more alignment on it.
Well, I was just thinking that, right? So I've got nice edges on here, but the problem is, Tom, I put all my game mats on the same board, so I've raised it up significantly.
Oh, I see.
Test dice here. Oh, okay. Well, that's a free, but it didn't roll off anywhere. But I tried this. It might come close to it.
Odd enough, this is exactly what I was about to bring up, and I actually originally had them all, as you can see behind me. You can see it's a single mat. I had them all stacked up before we were going to play the game. What I noticed when I was trying to do camera alignment and stuff, it was actually more difficult to do it when the mats were stacked on top of each other, because they were never quite squared or whatever and that kind of thing. So what I ended up doing was actually measuring the two left and right sides and drawing a line along the things, so I know where the mat goes perfectly in the middle.
Right.
So you've got the same distance on each side, because well, it's weird, but it was annoying me. It's just like, it's slightly off center, and I've got to put this in. It's like, it doesn't look right. No, just do this. It's fine. But I'd love to get edges on mine, but at the same time, I can't. It's not practical. If I could have it away from a wall, I think that would be nicer. I'd like to be able to walk around the full part of the board. I think because you've got the same issue. I think, haven't you? You're not.
Yeah. So mine's right up against the wall there.
Because
it's
a space saver.
It's a bit of a pain.
Yeah, but it's a space saver. You can't, because as much as you'd love to have it in the middle, it's just not practical when you've got a slightly smaller room.
Yeah, and it's also kind of one of those things that you do like to do it, And I was thinking, you don't really do it though. Like if I go to a tournament, I don't go to all 4 sides of the board,
No.
which maybe might explain why I'm not winning many tournaments. But
you
the same
completely
time,
like. Oh, there's only 3 sides on this board. What's going on? I don't understand.
I only see 3D. I don't see 4D. But yeah, it's a space saver. But when I did have the board the other way,
Yeah.
I really wasn't using that space at the very end.
No.
So it kind of like, well, the only time it's going to be awkward when you're doing that way, like if you're playing up and playing down, it's a little bit inconvenient to the person up there, but I don't think it's that much.
But I mean, to be fair, I think because it's only 4 foot across, it's not the end of the world for most people, because you can reach that distance fairly easily, unless you're short. I'm not making any comment about anyone that I know. I don't think she's in chat.
Very awkward.
She disappeared for a bit. So
yeah.
I have a great picture which I showed to Dom, which is quite amusing. But Vicky actually likes the size of the table, even though she's a bit small, because she found that actually she can now have everything almost sort of much better in the vicinity of kind of getting to them. Because the height of the game tables actually, it's a weird one, and I didn't think it would affect me much. But when I think I messaged you one day, I said I'm thinking about making it 91 centimeters high. What do you think? And because I thought it was too high, and then you were like, no, about 90 sounds good. And I was like, oh, all right, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
And then I did it, and it was like, oh, this is so much nicer. It's just that slight angle. It's not even much, It's just like not having to sort of.
Yeah. You're more upright than before. Because the worktops I've got here are a 90 as well.
Yeah.
So I kind of I was like, I think that's the right height to have them.
It's a nice height. It's a good sitting height, and it's a good standing height.
We've had events in the past that we've run, and we've had people asking about the height of the table there because of their back problems. And you think, actually, no, that is a big. And the older you get, like we both talked about this, actually, it is a problem. If you're standing there for hours and you have got a slight twinge in your back, the last thing you want to be doing is kind of lurching over the board.
It's holding that angle, which is a bit. And and you know me, I've had a fairly bad back for a few years, and I think you can. Most people see that I just get more painful. I have to sit down a bit, and it's not. But I did find I was able to get through most of that game without that particular issue. So there we go. Height table 90 centimeters off the ground, guys.
Yeah. So people in the chat, do you actually use all 4 sides of the table when you're playing a game, or do you kind of hover on your one side, maybe venture to 2, or do you do all 4?
I think the biggest benefit I would see from having all 4 sides is from a filming aspect.
Yeah.
Being able to get, because obviously there are certain angles you just cannot get. On that side of the
quite
table,
hard.
which is because
you have to compromise slightly.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that's the only thing I would mention about it from a filming point of view.
But I mean, generally, actually, I think when I'm playing people, I know I've got in this habit, which is not necessarily a good habit, but I will just say on one side of the board.
You've solved your 40k problem. It's because you can't play on the full board.
I can't play on the full board.
You mentally block off a quarter of the board.
Honestly, the more I think about it, I just stick on one side of the board. I might venture to 2, but I feel like the English part of me, I don't want to inconvenience the person on the other side. And more often than not, they will go, "Oh no, that's fine," and move out the way for me. But I'm like, "Oh, it's awkward." Social interaction.
Well, I'll tell you the other amusing thing is obviously when I know you and me are quite guilty of this, when you're rolling off to pick defender, you're always hoping for defender so you can pick the side you're currently standing on.
Yeah.
Even if it's tactically bad for you, like, well, all my models are over here.
I'll pick the beach and you pick the cliff with the bunkers. I just like beaches.
Yeah. My orcs do as well, actually.
Back and beer belly issues to main consideration for table construction and placement. Yes, absolutely, Jack. Absolutely.
Got to have somewhere to rest the beer belly.
Yeah, exactly. Dave Holland, I generally stay on one side. Yeah, and it isn't a good idea. It really is. Like, Dave, I played you and you hid some models, and because I only went on one side of the board, I never saw what those models were. Like, sometimes you almost just take their word for it. You kind of go,
"There's nothing around here."
Oh, there's stuff in this building, and you're like, "Oh, there's stuff in that building. I better not go over there. There might not be anything in that building. They've just they've faked me out." Like that, like this building here, and they'll be like,
"Well, we had a very good example. We had that with remember my Nurglings in that game we played that tournament that they just ignored, and they were like, "Oh, we've got no. Well, actually, I think you'll find in that building down there, there's some Nurglings.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry.
Yeah, maybe there should be an element of camouflage for your models. Like honestly, we kind of go with like Space Marines or Chaos Space Marines. You have very broad and bold colours a lot of the time. Like you'll have Word Bearers red, or you've got Ultramarines in blue, or Salamanders
Imperial
in green.
Fists.
Imperial Fists.
In
Like
bright yellow.
Howling Griffins. Iron Warriors. But maybe we need to take it back, and maybe we get a bit more camouflaged, and then you can hide the models in the building.
Black and red?
Yep, yeah, red fists. Yeah, white pauldrons. Yeah, good job on camo there. Unless you're hiding a McDonald's, they're going to find you.
How did you know? Oh, Ronald McDonald themed Space Marine army.
Yeah, but Nurglings or Scarabs, hide them in the building.
Some Scarabs did some very bad damage to one of my Orc Flyers actually over the weekend.
Good. Not as bad as my lasgun volley.
No, I mean, admittedly, my guy, he actually got to drop both his bombs this time though.
That's good.
Yeah. So...
But Scarabs got him.
Well, yeah, because they're flying. I didn't realise they were flying, did I?
Yeah. There you go, little beetles. It's a bit like the scene out of The Mummy.
Yeah.
When Brendan Fraser's in the plane. Like...
Please!
They're at Sam's face, kind of.
I can always see that happening with Necrons.
Yeah, there you go. Anyone else play on more than one side of the battlefield or move around the battlefield?
Well,
if you really want to intimidate the opponent.
Just look at him in the air. If you tell me to move side to table, I'm not going to be happy with you. Okay.
Have you ever played a game where your opponent hasn't talked to you, or basically made the minimum effort?
I think I've had. I think do you know what? I think the places I had that, and I think you might agree with this, is when we were both up at I think it was Southport at one of the war games ones. Remember that guy with the custodes? No, not the custodes. The one who played against your Baneblades with the infantry.
Oh, Blood Angels.
Blood Angels, yeah. That guy was very quiet towards me. And
I
he
think
was
quiet towards me because.
Because you. I still remember
my super heavy detachment of 3 Baneblades, which is like we're just gonna literally end up in his deployment. We just rolled up the battlefield. It was like hiding in like Singunial Guard, like in a building, and I was just like Baneblade, move up, turret, boom.
Because I had a similar thing where he was. It was back when aggressors got their double shots, and I'd taken the flame ones, which were quite unpopular, which I didn't realise until having played with them. Then they were just like they just weren't very good because obviously 8-inch flamers were never very good. But he charged a 10-man scout squad into my 3 flame aggressors, and I was like, "Are you sure you want to do that?"
They weren't were this before Primaris? Were they Centurions?
Oh my! No, it's definitely flame aggressors because I had 4d6 46 heavy flamer shots on him, and it was like, I'm just gonna roll him in. It's like, okay. But yeah, I think I've always had my worst opponents up there actually, not in a general nasty way, but more of it was much more down to business kind of opponents. I think that's more what I'm getting at. I think I'm trying to think of any really bad ones. I don't think I've had any very bad ones. I've had some people that were quite cocky and all very kind of like dismissive of, when they looked at my army, they went, I've got this in the bag, I don't really have to concentrate on what I'm doing kind of thing. I've had a couple of people like that, which is not unusual when you see my armies because they're normally pretty bad. I think they're really cool, but then you get there and you're like, my army's really bad. But to be fair, the worst one I had with that was when we went to the Hellstorm gaming event, and I took my Red Scorpions, and I took quite a scout, and I played Tau 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
And I've never been wiped the floor so badly.
No.
And it wasn't it wasn't particularly fun. The last guy I played, he was trying to help me get points because he felt that bad for me, and he was the nicest guy out of the lot.
Well, the thing is, like, there's a line, because I remember I took part in a campaign, and I played someone who was rather cocky, and at the end tabled me, and then went up to the person running the campaign and went, "He should get no points for this because I've tabled him. I want all the points." and that wasn't the rule. And
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm out of this. Honestly, if I got to play you again, I'm not getting involved in this. So
Because I
yeah,
think I remember there was one event we went to as well where I think to my right there was a very competitive player playing, and he plonked a chess clock down, which I think was an allowed thing if they wanted to do it. And I remember it getting rather heated. It was about a deployment thing, and the guy in a similar situation to you went, "I'm out." He just said, and actually, I half wondered if it was a tactic by that other person, that if he thought he put enough pressure on someone that they're going to play in a certain way, that they might just go, "Do you know what, I don't want to play this game with you because it's not fun."
Yeah.
But I think that's where we both know that hyper competitive gaming for us really isn't for us.
I think 9 out of 10, like if I go to an event
Yeah.
or a tournament, 9 out of 10
I agree.
opponents are brilliant, awesome people. Like the amount of times I've left an event and then gone onto Facebook and added them or messaged them, they went, really awesome game, thank you very much. But occasionally you get someone where you think, no, you weren't being.
There was something quite wrong. There was just something
you weren't really on the ball. No, I'm not talking about maybe, if they've got potential issues. I'm talking about the way they conduct themselves and maybe they're game playing on a different level. And you're like I've brought Renegades and Heretics. Like, honestly,
don't rub it in my face. It's already bad enough.
Do you really think I'm going to be that guy? I'm playing Word Bearers. I got a Lamb Raider. Come on, give me a chance.
Well, do you know what we should do one time, Dom, when we go to a tournament? We should make each other's lists for each other.
Yeah, and see how many points.
I think that would be really fun. I think that would be really fun.
Definitely. Yeah.
When
we've got our own tournament going on that you design a list for me and I design a list for you, and then at the end of it, we have to see between us who won. Like, who got the most points between us.
All right, let's do that. Every next few games we play, we'll pick an army each. Obviously, we'll try and do it with current Codex rules to make it. Otherwise, it's a bit silly, I suppose.
Well, honestly, I reckon we should go to a GT or something. And
yeah, if you want to do that, that's even better. I'll be up for that.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Guys, I think we talked about this before. Maybe a trip to Warhammer World, but we design each other's codexes, army lists, and then it's a playoff against each other. Like, who has the worst army list? And how many points can they score over the weekend?
And then we get two shirts made up and saying, I made Dom's army list and I made Tom's army list. And they say,
blame me for
don't blame me, it's on the back.
I'm with, What do you guys think of that?
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Really good.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll have a little thing, because the thing I sent you the other day, by the way, was they had an event up at Warhammer World in August.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you...
Let me,
I think we've missed the boat.
Okay.
I'm just checking, mainly because I think it was today the tickets opened.
So would you guys like to see us and see if we can design each other terrible lists? I mean...
No, I know we can do it. I've got no doubt we can do it.
How many Servitor models do you have, Tom?
I've only got the 3.
Okay.
Sorry. You know what's going to happen? Inadvertently, we're going to create...
contingent.
Inadvertently, we're going to create some kind of amazing list.
Yeah.
And you'll be like sitting there dumbstruck saying, Tom, I won? Got maximum points. I don't understand.
No one saw this list coming. No one saw what this could work.
No one even contemplated it.
Yeah.
Where was it? I'll just check if I've got the... I will just check that date on that. I think... Because they've lowered the cost. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, have they?
It's £75 for 2 now.
Oh, nice.
But I think... I'll just check. Here we go.
Guys, I can see there's a few of you watching.
No,
now.
they've already.
Make
they've
sure
already
you give the little thumbs up, by the way.
They've all gone. Yeah, we missed it. I think it was yesterday, unfortunately. I didn't want to. I wasn't sure if you were up for it, so I didn't want to badge you too much about it. So, because you ignore me nowadays, so it's fine. So.
Ignore me. Oh my god! But yeah, no, I'm well up for that. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
All right. Well, next time we do it, we'll have a go. Because I say normally we go to Meta, but they seem to have really tailed off on events at the moment.
And some more. We'll find some good tournaments, Tom, that you can take part in, and we'll see who can win.
Which armies though?
Don't know. I'm kind of thinking that I normally, try and get you units that you don't normally use, and I'm thinking I've got you that anti-air.
Oh no, it's painted as well. I haven't got it.
It's back, baby.
the non-combat Templar list.
Yes.
God, we'd have
Drop
to.
pods and servitors.
Oh God, I've got 6 drop pods. Sorry.
Yes.
That might work.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm going to do that for you. I think you like that.
I'm just going to make you cultists. No other frontline, just cultists.
They'll run out of ammo eventually.
And
tried to traitors once.
cultists and a minotaur.
I'm on fire!
Or just get you 3 super heavies. That's it. Kaitan, Lord of Skulls, and one of your knights. Not even going to have bound. We're going to have bound list. No.
Yeah, unbound list. You message the tournament organizer and go, look, it's alright if we go unbound. I'm just saying we're not going to go competitive.
Yeah. And we could, and I tell you, as a follow-up to this, we could also do something with the community here. We could have them vote on. This is a different. After we've done this one, maybe do one where we have we put up 3 units. They vote for the one they want in the list, and then we have to take like.
Yeah, have to go in. No.
But no, we'll definitely do that. That sounds cool. I'd actually really enjoy doing that. That would be quite funny.
Yeah, definitely. Gotta hide them.
If we get an event sometime.
Yeah.
You should get some. I'll tell you what you should do, Dom. Actually, which would be quite interesting. You should get the strip lighting around that edge on the inside of your mat.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
That'd be quite nice.
You can get the rolls and chuck them on the inside. Yeah, I think I could probably fit that on there. Yeah, that was one of my maybe things to do.
Let's make sure it's not too bright, just something subtle.
Well, a lot of them you got like the dimmer.
Yeah. Well, I saw it a bit odd enough. I was in B&Q today because I was actually looking for some other types of lighting. And they do a 50-meter roll of it, which you can just cut with scissors.
Yeah. Well, the one I had under the cupboard was the same.
Yeah.
So you've got like the dimmer on there. You can stick it on.
This one also had multicolour, so you can set the colour. You can set different tones.
Very nice. Oh, I'll have a look at some point.
But it wasn't the cheapest though, to be fair. So maybe it might not be worth it.
You're probably getting on Amazon or eBay.
Yeah. That's where I'll probably go. It was more just the fact I saw some and thought, this would be quite cool to.
That would be pretty.
Yes, it would be.
Very nice.
Well, 12 minutes past 9.
Yeah.
Are we kind of sort of?
Yeah, I need to get some food. I'm actually quite hungry.
You haven't eaten?
No. Oh. I don't have time to eat.
Came up straight away to put carpet down.
So dedicated. I can't. I've put all the carpet down.
I know, yeah, mate. It's alright.
I'm gonna take my shoes off.
Apart from where you're sitting. Is that a new policy by the way when come in there? Shoes off.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a mat for the door.
I'm just checking because I do respect that. I would.
Very comfy.
Especially as we've got to come for your garden to get into your thing. It's only fair in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's all very nice.
Cool.
Anyway, I think we're going to wrap it up here, guys. But thank you very much for tuning in. Apologies again for the lack of content. But we are going to be working heavily to change things.
I think both me and Don realised that maybe we needed to work on getting what we wanted, the way we wanted it, before we could actually produce the way we wanted to as well. So I reckon I've got about another. So Dom's obviously you're going to release some stuff on your studio stuff, which would be nice to see, a full little thing on it. Then when he's done that, because I don't want to steal your thunder on it, because I think yours looks so much better than what I've done. Mine is much more of a technical overview of filming battle reports, so it's not the same thing. And I just wanted to make sure that mine will come out a bit after that, where I'll show you, I'll guide you through how I've done the setup for doing filming and stuff. And I'd like to get your comments and stuff on it, and see what you guys think, because it's be interested to sort of see. And obviously, like I said, if you haven't already, please go on to Discord. Actually, before we go, I better put a Discord link in, because I don't know if any. I assume there might be some people that are new to here that haven't that potentially haven't joined us yet.
Maybe.
We're about to find out.
Baby.
And then we can wrap it up for the evening. But just because I don't think we've actually posted the Discord thing for quite a while, actually. Admittedly, because we haven't really been streaming, but.
It's the roundabouts, really, isn't it?
So let me grab a waiting room one here. So for anyone who hasn't already done so, and you'd like to come and join us on our Discord, please hop onto this link here, and it should drop you into. Here we go. Yeah, just click on that link, come and join us. We'd love to see you there. But other than that, I think we're done for the evening. So
yeah, I'm going to go off and get some food.
that sounds like a good idea.
Yes, thank you very much, everybody. It's lovely to speak to you all again. And I suppose until next time, I am, of course, Dom.
And I'm Tom.
And that's Tom. So I'll see you all later.
Yep. Take care, everyone. Bye.